This is what I wanted to watch. Yo, because the Steam Machine, for those of you who don't know, I don't know who watches my actual shit, but Steam is bringing out a PC, which is going to be this little box right here, but the price is going to be like a normal PC. I don't think it should be the normal PC pricing. I need to know.
I visited Valve to check out their upcoming Steam Machine.
I need to know.
A gaming PC
because this is a big issue.
That has the potential to massively shake up the gaming console industry. They were shockingly open about the specs, features, and the design. But there is one piece of the puzzle that Valve is keeping close to their chest.
The price, yes.
And that's a pretty important piece because
I'm not used to looking at Linus with what's it called, braces.
This thing because they think it's going to be a $500
console
killer.
I don't think he's ever worn braces, or I could be weird.
It's going to be yet another mid-spec pre-built gaming PC for $1,000 US. But which one is it?
Yeah.
Valve won't tell us yet, for some good reasons that we'll get to later. But what we do have is enough information and enough lines to read between that I believe we can make such an accurate guess that if we're off by more than $60 US, I will eat an entire Portal cake on the WAN show. What is a Portal cake?
You don't remember the cake is a lie?
An entire cake?
That's true this time.
Okay, well, because I counted on you guys to help with the work, you are gonna help me eat it.
Right.
We win as a team and we die as a team here. But I don't think that's gonna happen because our theory is solid and it starts with the comparison system behind me. This approximation
This guy
will
British?
both
No,
give
he's
us a
not.
sense
He's
for
Canadian.
what a DIY Steam machine would cost today, as well as give us a sense of how it might perform. Because Valve, they ain't no fools. They care a lot about the perceived value of the experience of using the
I knew
Steam
he was
machine,
different?
not
What the fuck
just
does that
the raw
mean?
Specs. Let's start with their CPU.
Different equals not American.
Rather, not quite their CPU. See, the Steam Machine uses a semi-custom 6-core chip from AMD, and while we would have
you're not
loved
wrong.
to use the near-identical Ryzen 5 7540U, we don't have a custom motherboard to solder it to, so we're going to be stuck with the socketed desktop Ryzen 5 8400F. To get our performance estimate a little closer,
all right, because I need to know,
we're gonna
like, I want to know if this is
power
actually,
and clock
this is
frequency
actually
to be
good.
closer to Valve's baby. About like so. Now we just need to save and quit. It's not working. Oh wait, I know what the problem is. We didn't configure our save.
Fuck you, Linus. Sorry. I love you, but no.
Now we just put our equivalent CPU in there and immediately we're completely off the rails with the ASRock B650M-H M.2 Plus. A motherboard that, other than being a motherboard, is as different as possible from the one inside the Steam Machine. For starters, it's
he's making the computer himself with as close to specs as he can get, and then trying to see the pricing is.
Just aren't needed in the GameCube, which, other than a socketed SSD and system memory, uses soldered components to save on space, complexity, and cost.
All right.
Our board then is likely much more expensive than the one that Valve is using.
Oh, okay.
However, the flip side is that creating a custom motherboard,
GameCube reference?
that ain't free.
Yeah.
And
I love my GameCube. Got it right there, man.
Somewhere.
W.
Perhaps by
overhated
cheaping out
console.
on the RAM.
It truly is.
Now we don't
it's
know
overhated.
for sure that Valve will select generic JEDEC speed RAM like this 16 gig kit from Crucial. But what we do know is that they've chosen compact SODIMM modules in order to save space, which could cost them a little bit extra. We also know that the 7540U is rated for a maximum speed of 5600 megabits per second. And unless Valve went more custom than they let on, that's probably about as fast as their semi-custom silicon will go. But that raises a big question. How custom did they go? What does semi-custom actually mean? As it turns out, it means pretty much off the shelf, but with some tuning to the firmware, power profile, and drivers. And that choice tells us a fair bit, actually. Think back to the recent news about Xbox reportedly canceling their handheld. Allegedly, that was at least partially due to the fact that AMD wouldn't commit to a custom SoC unless Microsoft could guarantee.
Oh, I forgot that Microsoft was going to release their own handheld version of the game. I forgot about this. I remember seeing this like a year ago.
million units sold. So what I'm hearing is Valve is projecting enough sales to bother doing this.
They didn't
project at
release
all,
it because of
probably
AMD?
enough for AMD
Really?
to give them a measurable price break, but not enough to sell 10 million Steam machines. Because if that were the case, they might
PC on
have
the
chosen
go?
something
Yeah, I mean, it's
more
it's
custom,
very
a
portable.
strategy that
It's
clearly
portable.
contributed to the incredible price to performance
Alibur's
ratio
first
of their
PC instead of a
handheld
laptop?
console,
Question
the
mark?
Steam Deck. There's any number of different ways to interpret this. I mean, Valve has been burned on Steam machines before.
Yeah.
They're just playing it safe this time? Or do they just think the market for a Steam living room console that's also a
Soon,
computer
guys. I mean,
is
depending on how
relatively
pricey
small?
this is.
I mean, to you and me, 10 million units is huge. I'd be stoked to sell 10 million units of anything.
Your
Like the
PC
new
weighs 70
transparent screwdriver
pounds.
from
Mine probably
LTDstore.com.
weighs around the same too.
But when we compare that number to
Maybe
console
less.
sales,
Maybe
yeah,
like
it
5 or
is
10 pounds
tiny.
less.
Even infamous failures like the PS Vita and the Wii U sold significantly more than that. So to me, this reinforces the few hints that Valve has given.
Yo,
More
units
than
sold? PlayStation 2 is still on top. Let's fucking go. It was the goated, top of the line system that has never been beaten. PS2 was fucking golden years, man. I'm telling you.
So to me, this
Wait, where's
reinforces
N64?
and the Wii. Yeah, it
Nintendo DS, Nintendo Switch, Game Boy Color, PlayStation 4, PlayStation, Wii. The Wii was a banger. That was a universal W. Like this, no, everybody loved the Wii. Now you can get bored of the Wii, but the Wii for its time, super mega S tier plus console. Motion controls completely, like, dude, this was like the mega transfer to like motion controls.
is tiny.
Where's Nintendo 64? Is it really not on this list?
Even infamous failures like the PS Vita and the Wii U sold significantly.
Yo, units sold and it's not even on the list? Like, am I bugging?
Even infamous failures.
No way, it's not there.
Yeah, it is tiny. Even
Yo,
infamous failures
Wii U
like
was
the
peak?
PS Vita and the Wii
I don't
U
think the
sold
Wii U was-
significantly more.
I don't think it was
So
peak.
to
I think
me,
it was
this reinforces the few
misadvertised.
hints
Like, it
that
wasn't
Valve
bad.
has
It wasn't as
given
bad
with
as
respect to
people say
pricing.
it was.
What it
But I
tells
think the
us is that
advertisement didn't
while
help it
Valve
either.
Could look for every possible lever to drive down price. They just aren't that interested in betting big.
I
on
feel like they
upping
used the wrong
console
games for
market. It
advertisement.
seems like they're more interested in replicating the Steam Deck success by giving gamers more ways to play Steam games and putting a reference platform out there.
Yo, Steam
other
is the
hardware
top one
manufacturers
gaming
to chase, and
gaming
who knows?
thing of the world for a
Maybe
reason, man.
install
Steam
SteamOS on?
Steam is banger. I love Steam.
With that in mind, then, it's
I've
not
never
in
had an
Valve's
issue
best
with
interest
Steam.
To monopolize the market, they want to drive competition in it, which unfortunately means they aren't likely to slim down their margins and hit a Christmas listable $500 mainstream console price point. I actually asked Valve about that point blank, and while they didn't say no, they also didn't say no.
Oh, I get it.
Which is kind of a downer. And we've yet to complete our descent. As
Steam
I
support on
install
top too?
Kingston
Yep.
NV3 with 500 gigs of storage, I can't help but be reminded of the rising costs of both the NAND flash storage chips that are at the heart of every SSD and every type of memory right now. Like, both of them are more out of control
DDR RAM's prices soaring due to AI demand.
than a preteen on Maury Povich.
Catch me outside.
And even though it's not intuitive, this is mostly
I heard
due
somebody
to the
laugh in the background when they
insatiable
did that. That
demands
was
of
pretty
AI
cringe, I can't
factories
lie.
And hyperscalers who are sucking up all the available production. And guess what? It gets worse. While US tariffs seem to be easing off a little, there is no denying that global trade friction and protectionism are hot trends right now. And in just the few months between now and broad availability of the Steam Machine, any given part of it could easily face cost increases due to these factors.
Okay,
Rounding
that
out our
makes
test
sense.
bench, we've got an AMD stock cooler, since we're going to be limiting our CPU to 30 watts anyway, and powering it, this Seasonic Focus GX 550. Not because the Steam Machine will have a 550 watt power supply, but because where the heck am I supposed to find a desktop power supply that is both high quality and also 300 watts? Now it's time to talk about what is arguably the most important
Recording
piece
soon.
of
See you
any
maybe
game
again if there's free
PC,
Wi-Fi on the board.
the GPU.
Later, brother.
What we know is that the
Have a
Steam
safe
machine
flight
will have
home.
a semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 GPU. We know it will consume the lion's share of the system's power, and we know that it will come with 8 gigabytes of dedicated GDDR6 VRAM. That actually lines up pretty closely with another product in AMD's lineup, the Radeon RX 7600M. Sadly though, the M, once again, stands for mobile. So we couldn't find that GPU.
You couldn't find it, so you had to go for another Radeon
desktop. So once again, we need to look for the closest equivalent.
Yeah, another
this
substitution.
Could be a problem. The most obvious choice would, of course, be the full-sized RX 7600, right? I mean, it's got the same dang numbers in the product name, so it must perform the dang same then, right?
Nope.
Wrong. It is much faster than most benchmarks. And if we want a GPU with similar performance, we end up with the RX 6600. But that is a full generation older, which means that it might not have the best support for AMD's latest features, and depending on the games we run and how much ray traced lighting they use, its performance profile is not going to be the same either. But what it does have is the same CU count and very similar boost clocks, and even the power rating is very similar. So I guess we go with this. Which brings us to pricing. David, where are we at?
I would tell you that, but we're not done yet. You fell victim to one of the classic PC comparison blunders.
Yo, man.
You don't have a controller, but the Steam machine will come with a pretty fancy one.
Oh.
I chose the Cyclone 2 from GameSir as our stand-in. It's a high-quality wireless controller with TMR sticks that comes with its own charging dock, all for $56. But the box is missing its dongle, so instead we're going with the winner of the Ultimate Controller Showdown from last year, the Easy SMX 20. You love this controller.
Okay, but that's still the same price anyway.
It's close enough that our calculations are still correct.
Okay, so what are our calculations?
Well, if we were to build this machine using the lowest historical pricing,
Usually I can't handle the
from the
script
cheapest
when
sources,
people jump in, but
I
that
would
well was
like
actually
to.
pretty good.
I mean, let's
Well,
say we add $50
I don't know why I
to
like
it.
this so much.
we're looking at just over $600 US.
Oh, well, that's great news. I mean, it's Steam
$600.
OS, so there's no Windows tax, so $599.
I was not
No.
done. If we build it today, in the current market conditions from the cheapest sources, we're looking at close to $900.
Eesh.
But we don't have to buy these exact parts.
No, if we're deal hunters and we don't mind giving up some of the bells and whistles and some of the name brands, it would save you about
900?
$100
Okay.
without giving up any performance.
Okay, but that's retail pricing. That's got some margin built into it, so I don't think I'd say $799 either. Or maybe I would. Chatting with some industry sources, it's estimated that there's as little as 10% net profit in PC parts, which would put our estimated cost between $700 and $750.
Really?
With that said, Valve benefits from a direct-to-consumer model, meaning that they get to take both the brand and retailer margins. And, as we already acknowledged, we did overspend on a number of our components, including the power supply, the motherboard,
Okay.
and the case, compared to
Yeah, I
what
kind of
Valve
forgot
did.
that he said that.
With that said, in today's market, I still don't think they're going to get costs under $600 to $650, meaning that the final question is, what kind of markup will Valve target on the Steam machine? Without being a fly on the wall in their boardroom, it's
impossible to say for sure.
Jesus
all that
Christ.
Valve would tell us is that they want their hardware business to be sustainable. But what does that mean? I think it means $699 US, if there's no major changes in the market. It's probably above Valve's cost today.
$699?
And there'll be some opportunity for them
I mean,
to
that's better than
improve
what
their
I was
margins
thinking in my
over the
head,
several
honestly.
year
I was thinking
lifespan
like
of their
1,000 the way they
device
said
as their initial
PC
investment
pricing.
gets paid off, and hopefully RAM and SSD pricing returns to some kind of normalcy. And if we factor in nice-to-haves, like the dedicated antenna for up to 4 wireless Steam controllers, not to mention the controller itself, the Steam machine presents a compelling value at that price without completely undercutting the market. And, maybe this is the most important factor, it's kind of a funny number. I don't love this answer, and
Can this guy
I'm
stop his
sure
little
I'm not
attitude
the
too
only one
happy?
who's sitting
It's the
here
whole persona,
wishing
man.
that it was priced like a game console. I mean, who would?
Says you. You're happy all the time. I don't want to hear it.
But you see what I did just there? I just moved the goalpost. A big part of the reason I want this thing to be affordable so bad is because it is a PC with all the benefits of a PC, like no-cost online play for most games,
Yeah.
the ability to take advantage of Steam sales, not to mention other gaming marketplace sales, and maybe most importantly, the ability to use it for all kinds of non-gaming applications. But
Those are
it's
really good
exactly that
reasonings.
PC-ness that makes the console pricing model just not work for Valve.
Yeah,
it would
it
take
makes
a
sense
matter
why
of
it's not.
minutes for me to grab my brand new Steam machine, install Windows and Epic Games Store on it, and then never give a penny of ongoing revenue to Valve. So coming back to that word, sustainable.
PC-ness,
They want their
penis.
hardware business
No, shut
to
up.
make business sense. They can't risk pricing this thing so attractively that, say, a corporate office might buy 80,000 Steam machines and kit out their entire workforce, all of whom will buy a total of goose egg games. Now, the Steam Deck was never in any real danger of that happening, which is why it could be priced as aggressively as it was. But the same can't be said for the Steam machine. So, with that in mind, what are we getting for our $700, or at most $800 if the market goes completely wackadoodle?
Man, SteamOS rocks.
I know, right? Of course, that's not what we're evaluating today.
Nope.
Today we're looking at the performance. So we'll start up by firing up Hades 2.
You're only getting like 200 to 300 frames, Linus. That's kind of embarrassing.
Okay, well, we always knew that games like this were going to play just fine on the Steam machine. What we really care about is how something more challenging is going to run. And our plan was
Let me
go
guess,
with the game that
Cyberpunk?
seems poised to win Game of the Year, Expedition 33.
Oh.
But
Yo, I
unfortunately,
haven't played this.
it's running in the Steam Deck profile with no way for us to reconfigure it on SteamOS right now. So, Cyberpunk, I guess.
Yeah, Cyberpunk, I knew it.
This
See,
is the
look.
2020s.
Cyberpunk, I knew it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it looks pretty, but Cyberpunk at 4K medium details would look pretty. I can tell you as the person holding the controller though, 45 FPS is not great for driving. But what's up with that? Valve said that out of the gate, the Steam machine should be capable of running pretty much any game on Steam at 4K with FSR, about 60 FPS. Well, that's where there's clearly some tuning for them to do. Let's see if we can get to 60. Why don't we start with a low rather than a medium preset, and then let's change our FSR to performance, which renders the game at an even lower resolution before upscaling. Oh, hey, that looks better.
That is above 60.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, still looks decent.
There's a little bit of graininess.
I mean, there's always a little bit of graininess in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's true.
You crank it, it's
Yeah,
just
this
kinda
game
like
looks.
a
That
grainy,
looked fine
grainy
now. It wasn't looking so
style.
good earlier. It looks fine
On
now.
purpose, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Night City.
This is very good. It's not the highest I've ever seen Cyberpunk look, but if you have complaints about this, you're very picky.
But who's to say that gamers shouldn't be discerning? While this looks fine in a vacuum, it's only as good as how it stacks up to the competition. How does it look next to, say, a PlayStation 5? What about second 4K display?
Normally we'd have to have like multiple circuits to run two PCs, but the Steam machine is gonna be such a low-powered thing that we can have two TVs, a PlayStation, and a computer all in one.
That's actually a pretty good point. The expectations for running something in your living room are a little bit different than, you know, a dedicated battle station of a gaming PC.
What the fuck is
Power
that?
efficient is
No, what is that setup?
battle station.
What the fuck is this? No, this is not. You're not even playing a game anymore. You're living in a fucking jungle. What is this? Bro's got two mechas inside of a box, and then his PC on the wall with an open case.
Of
He's
a
got
gaming
grass
PC.
everywhere.
Being power efficient is definitely a plus.
the
Not in
fuck?
quite the same spot, but this is enough
Are
to
you
give us
even
an idea
gaming
of
at
how
that
the
point? You're not
system
even playing
will compare
games. You're
both in
playing.
performance
You're not
and
even in a
terms of
gaming
image
room.
quality.
This is a gaming
Funny,
room. Like
I-
it's nerd shit
I'm
everywhere.
actually running
That
a
is not a
touch
gaming
sharper than
room.
you.
Way sharper. I think I have better lighting.
Your
and
lighting
details are better
is
on mine.
definitely better.
But if I were to pick one, I actually think I would pick that.
I was gonna say I'd probably pick the PlayStation.
Interesting.
You're in performance mode right now, right?
Yes.
Which means you're getting about 60 FPS, which is about the same as what I'm getting. Either way, though, there's no clear winner.
Touching
There's no
grass taken too
obvious
seriously?
winner,
A
which
little bit,
tells us
yeah.
that as long as they're reasonably within range of a PlayStation 5 on price, they're reasonably within range on performance.
100%.
Hey, do you want to try?
Yeah.
We'll just Your inputs feel looser just because of the VSync. Also, that's a better controller than this, I'm sorry. The joysticks anyway. Yeah. The joysticks. The triggers on the DualSense are so cool. Yeah, now that I'm on the PlayStation 5, my level of detail at a distance is, man, no, I don't know, actually. LOD might be similar. It's the lighting.
Yeah.
It's the lighting that makes a huge difference on the PlayStation.
The nice thing about the Steam Deck is because it's a PC, you can tweak it to have the settings you want.
That's
and so
true.
I find everyone's a little bit more sensitive to different settings appearing in their graphics. And so having control over that's really nice. Like you might not worry that much about jaggy, so then you can put that headroom somewhere else. On PlayStation, it's either...
All right, yeah, we get it.
But they have a few months to do it, and they've also made it very clear that they feel there is more juice to be squeezed from the hardware from a performance standpoint as well. With their custom drivers for AMD Radeon cards, not to mention deep integration with SteamOS, which we
That's
can't
pretty
count
true.
on until we get the real Steam machine in our hands, not this Frankenstein's monster. But even based on what we've seen so far, at this performance level, at this price, with this level of flexibility, not to mention that it's really small and damn near dead silent, I think it looks like a pretty compelling value.
I mean, it does. It
According
even
to
makes me
Valve,
want to buy
the
one, and I
market for
already
this
have a
box might be
PC.
bigger than you would think. They estimate that the Steam machine will be more powerful than what 70% of Steam users currently have. That doesn't necessarily translate to something that 70% of users would be interested in purchasing, but it does mean that it's
He's got
almost
braces,
certain
man.
that the Steam machine will
I think
come
they're
out.
new, like
Even
recent
if it
new.
does cost more
I don't
than
remember
this,
him having braces the last video I
hope It
saw.
doesn't cost too much. Or if it does cost too much, I hope it doesn't succeed too much, because I'd love for Valve to just say, oh, we didn't sell enough of these. You know what, screw it. Let's just upend the living room console. Not to mention the entry-level workstation space. Like, look at the way the Steam Deck seems to have lit a fire under Nintendo's lethargic butt. I love Valve as a disruptor. And I also love our sponsor.
Vessi. Their biggest sale of the year is going on right now, whether it's a chili damp
No sponsor.
on all
Get subscribed, as we have more on the way, but in the
All right. I mean, honestly, this is kind of a good video because I genuinely thought the Steam machine was going to be like $1,000 plus, because they said they were going to price it like a computer, which I thought they meant like $1,000 plus. But the fact that he's saying 700 is actually good. That's a good sign. That's a cheap, affordable, good machine that does everything a PC does, just in a little tiny box. Apparently doesn't use too much power, and it's not loud. That sounds like a hell of a deal, honestly. It's not bad, considering that it's supposed to be better than 70% of what Steam users use. This is looking like one hell of a deal if you ask me, man.